All right, a very good evening to you. Thank you so much for coming around. My name is Shola Ayebusi, and this is coming courtesy Business and Tech Transformation Academy Bata. At Bata, we do business in the proper way, and we teach you how to do business in the proper way, and of course, teach you tech skills that you can use in this 21st century to uh, get yourself some form of leverage, okay? And it's good to have you. Uh, Yesterday, we started something really, really interesting, and it was about CV writing, writing your CV, like a pro, okay? I'm happy that some of you were to come, to enjoy that session. And today, we'll be looking at, we'll be going deeper into that particular topic, and it promises to be wonderful. So just stick with me because there's a lot to gain. So I'm going to share my screen with you very quickly so that you can have an idea of what we will be doing for today. Okay, thank you so much once again for joining. All right, so let's go, let's go, let's go. I want to believe you can see my screen. All right, just a moment. Yep. Okay, so this was where we started yesterday. We wanted to, dive into CV writing like a pro. Okay, I'm sure that some of you must have even written a lot of CVs before, but maybe those CVs are not getting you the job. Maybe they are not giving you the result that you want. And that's why you must learn how to write your CVs like a pro, as in a professional, somebody who is a guru, somebody who is really, really good at it. So CV writing, is a skill that you must have, because if you don't have that skill, even if you think you can do the job, but if your CV says otherwise, the company will not call you. And if the company does not call you for interview, how can you even get a job? How can you get an appointment letter? How can you get a good salary? How can you enjoy welfare benefits that come from the company? So it means that for you to ever get into a company, your CV is one of the very, very important things that you must get right. Okay, it's not even about getting right your certificate. You can have all the certificates in the world. At the end of the day, you might not be able to get a job. Why? Because your CV is not good enough. Okay, I want to encourage everybody to mute themselves. Okay, so that we don't have interference of the sound that may be coming from your hand. Okay, so maybe I can help you. I'll mute everyone. All right, I'll mute everyone. Okay, good. Thank you so much. All right, so let's move on now. Please, in case you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that. Thank you so much for doing that for us. Through that channel, you'll be getting a lot of, videos that would really, really be of benefit, to you. Okay, so let's move on. So yesterday we said first impression last. Okay, first impression counts. Your CV must be able to sell you, must be able to tell us what you can do and what you cannot do. Okay, and it's a marketing tool actually. It's that tool that you can use to sell yourself. So if you really, really want to enjoy, if you want to get a job, your CV must really, count. I mean, your CV must create a very wonderful impression. And of course, yesterday we looked at CV versus resume, the differences and all of that. Make sure that you watch the video that was recorded yesterday. I already posted them in the group. Ensure that you watch it to have a feel of what we did yesterday. Yesterday, I talked about CV writing being a process, of you trying to craft your experiences, your skills, your background, and everything you have accomplished in a document. Okay, so that you can use that to get a job or an academic opportunity. Okay, it serves as a personal marketing tool. Okay, you are like a product. Okay, and you must be able to sell yourself. You must be able to communicate your value to everybody that cares to listen. Okay, That is very, very, very important. Okay, very, very important. If you don't sell yourself, I mean, who will sell you? You know, okay. So it's your job to sell yourself, okay, to the recruiter, to the company that wants to employ you. All right, and then we also went further to say that CVs has to be customized to match your specific job or the specific industry you want to go into. Okay. And like yesterday, like I mentioned yesterday, you don't just use one CV for all the applications you do. You must be able to, use, tweak your CV, use the, necessary keywords, so to say, and then look at the job description of the job you want to apply for before you apply. Don't just see a job and say, okay, let me just send my CV to them. Look at the job description very well and see whether you can borrow some words from that job description. Okay. So, your relevant skills, your certifications, your personal profile, your work experience, your education, all of that must be in your CVs. And I told you yesterday about what employers look for and all of that. So let me go straight into, I wouldn't want to spend time trying to review all of this. Go watch, that video. You will really, really enjoy it. So today, let's go to what we have today. This is part two, okay? This is part two of the journey. And, we want to dig deeper into CV or resume writing like a pro, okay? So, how do you describe your experience? If you are applying for a job, one of the things that you want to do is to describe your experience. But then you are not supposed to describe your experience in a way that is not catchy. You have to describe your experience with impact. I told you yesterday, it's about impact. People don't care what your name is. People don't care the tribe you come from. They don't care whether you are fair or dark, whether you are beautiful, whether you are handsome, whether you are ugly. They care about your CV. And as a matter of fact, they will never see your face until they call you for an interview. So they don't really care about your face. All right. So your CV is what matters to them. So how do you describe yourself in such a way that they'll say, wow, if we bring this guy, this lady into our company, this lady, this guy will be able to create impact, has something to bring to the table. We'll be able to do some transformation in our organization. We are selling 50 items before. This person will make us sell like 80, 100, because looking at how he has described himself, he has very wonderful marketing skills. So how you describe yourself in your CV really, really matters. You must describe yourself with impact. Don't just describe yourself for the fun of it. Your CV should be able to tell us that, oh, if you come into this organization, you will have positive impact on the organization. And we'll see that from what you've done before. Okay, so you must be able to write your experience, focus on achievements. So the job you are doing right now, you want to jump to another job. What are the achievements that you have in the present job you are doing now? You must be able to tell that, oh, I achieved this, I achieved that. So if the company who wants to recruit you see that, they'll say, wow, this is an achiever. This is somebody that is serious. It's not somebody that would just want to collect salary and just come to work. Even if he's not doing anything, he doesn't care. He just wants to collect salary. No, you must not just be somebody who just want to collect salary. You rather must be somebody who wants to bring about impact. And the impact is not starting from the new job. It has started already from the jobs, every job that you have done before. Okay, so you must be able to focus on your achievements, measurable result. I mentioned that yesterday too. Measurable result. Your result must be measurable. Of course, we're going to talk more about that later, and not just duties. Don't just say, oh, as an admin staff, I write letter, I do this, I do that. Come on, anybody can just write that. But we want to see your results. Were you able to achieve? Were you able to make the organization sell more? Were you able to make the organization reduce, absenteeism? Were you able to help the organization increase customer satisfaction? These are the things that you should put on your CV. All right. Use strong action verbs like led. I led a team of 9 people. That will show the company that you are a leader. Okay. I led a team. I increased customer satisfaction by 80%. Can you see now? That was measured. Okay. You don't just say I increased what? By 1% or 5%. Of course, 1%, 5% is a failure. So, but if you say I increased, customer satisfaction by 60%, 70%, 80%, that makes more sense. Or I increased sales of my department. I increased sales. We were selling 20 million before, but when I came in, we were able to increase the sales from 20 million to 60 million. I increased sales by 50%, by 60%. These are words that catches the attention of recruiters. You can also use the words implemented. I implemented the policy of the company on safety. I implemented the company's policy on punctuality. These are strong action verbs that you must use to show your contribution to the organization. You must quantify your success where possible. Okay, e.g., boosted sales by 30% in 6 months. All right, that's a perfect example. Oh, I boosted sales by 30% in 6 months. If any recruiter sees that, they will know that you're a serious person. They will know you're an achiever. You're not just somebody who just want to collect salary. Whether the company does well or not, you don't really care. Okay, you must be able to quantify your success. All right. Uh, let's go to formatting your CV professionally. How do you format your CV professionally? How? Number one, one way to format your CV will be to make the layout to be very clean. You see some CVs, they are whose microphone is not connected. Yeah, what you need to do is go to where you have your mic. Okay, go to where you have your mic on Zoom. That's to the left hand side, the bottom left hand side. Just go there. You will see something that looks like a mic. Okay, tap on it so that you can. Just tap on it so that you can connect with audio. Okay, and then you'll be able to hear me. All right. So I'm going to disconnect the WhatsApp call now so that uh, Um, yeah, so let's move on. Let's move on. All right. So now, if you have a CV, the layout of your CV must be clean. If I look at your CV, I must be able to look at it and say, wow, this is very clean. It's not just, disorganized. If it's disorganized, you're already shooting yourself in the leg. I mean, if your CV is disorganized, what that means to me as a recruiter is that you as a person, you're also disorganized. That's what it is. That's what it means. Because if your CV is disorganized, it shows that that's the kind of person that you are. So your CV must be well arranged, clean, consistent, easy to read, with clear headings and bullet points. All right. You must use bullet points. You must use headings where you're supposed to write professional profile. I mean, personal statement or uh, a personal profile statement. it must be in capital letters, okay, and it must be clear. There must, I mean, the font you must use must be clear. All right, use a professional font, e.g., Arial or Calibri. I mean, these fonts are very professional. You don't use the professional that you find in comic books or children books. No, you don't use some funny fonts. I mean, you are not an artist. You are not a fine artist. Okay, so your CV is not like a hard work. All right, you must use professional fonts. Arial or Calibri is good, and keep it between 10 to 12, font size. Yes, 10 to 12 is good. Don't make it too big and don't make it too small, so that whosoever is reading your CV will be able to read it very well without even using glasses. You understand what I mean? So the font must be professional. The size must also be very, very good. And then your CV shouldn't be too lengthy, not like 10 pages, 20 pages. No, except if you are going into if you're going into academics, you want to lecture in the university. Yes, for people like that, their CVs are so lengthy because they just write all manner of stuff, all the papers they published, blah blah blah. They just write a lot, so sometimes it's quite lengthy. They might be running into 10 pages. But if you are applying for a job outside the academia, no, it has to be short, concise, straight to the point, no unnecessary drama, no unnecessary words. Okay, so if you have a resume of 2 pages, well, 3 4 pages maximum, that is enough. It doesn't have to be too lengthy. All right, avoid clutter. You just match many things together on your CV. Is not. I mean, people are finding it difficult to look through the schools that you went through. No, it shouldn't be. If I want to know the schools you went to, I should be able to clearly see it. Don't just clutter things together. All right. Then, when you are done doing your CV in Word document, make sure you save it as PDF. Please remember this. Save as PDF. Don't send a Word document to your recruiter. If you do that, you are shooting yourself in the leg. Don't send a Word document. You know why? Human beings are funny. What if somebody edits your CV and put nonsense in there? Yeah, it's better you use PDF. PDF. I mean, you would have to go through stress before you can embark on a journey to edit it. And of course, PDF gives a better, cleaner version compared to your Word document. So make sure you save as PDF. So if you have a CV right now and it's in Word document and you send it to recruiters, maybe that's why they've not been calling you, because they will just feel that no, this person is not serious. He doesn't even know how to even send a proper CV. A proper CV must be in PDF format. When you're sending it to recruiter, it has to be in PDF format. Okay. Let me go to 12 common CV mistakes to avoid. There are so many mistakes that some people make, with their CVs. Please pay attention to it. Number one, spelling and grammatical errors. Wow, this is really important. You see, if you have a CV and then when I'm reading through your CV, I can see all manner of spelling mistakes, grammatical error, where you're supposed to use implemented, you use implement. When you're supposed to use go, you use went. When you're supposed to use went, you use go. Grammatical errors, spelling errors. Okay, it shows me that you are careless as a recruiter. That's what it is. It shows that you are not painstaking. It shows that you are not conscientious. You don't pay attention to details. How can you have, a CV full of errors and you are sending it to a recruiter and you want them to call you back? They won't take you serious. They'll feel that like I mentioned yesterday, by their CV, you shall know them. If you have a lot of errors in your CV, what that means is that if I employ you, you'll be committing a lot of errors in the company. If you must look at your CV and say, okay, what are the spelling errors here, and correct them before you send them to that recruiter. Very, very important. Okay, using one generic CV for all jobs. Some people do that very well. Their CV is the same from 1980 whatever. Even by 2070, their CVs are still the same. And any job at all they come across, they will use that same CV to apply. Nothing changes in their CV. It's a wrong thing to do. Don't use a generic CV. For every job you're applying for, you must tailor your job, your CV to that job. You must tailor it. Okay, you don't just use just one CV for every job that you want to apply for. Okay, now another error. Okay, too long or too short. Yes, you can have 1 or 2 pages, or at most 3 to 4 pages, but then it mustn't also be too short. Maybe I look at your CV and it's like maybe like half page. I'll be asking myself, I mean, what happened? This person does not even have enough information to say about himself, about herself. It mustn't be too short. It mustn't be too lengthy. Now, if I have like 15 years after I finish service, my CV should be more detailed than somebody who just graduated. So if my CV is just like 1 page, okay, and I left school like 15 years ago or 20 years ago, it's expected that I would have worked in some places. So my work experience, I should be like 3, 4, 5 places I mean, companies that I've worked. Okay, so it's very likely that my CV might be running into 2, 3 pages. But if it's now 1 page and it's just like that of a fresh graduate, then I'm not serious. It means that my CV is too short, okay, and it might deprive me of a job. Because if I look at it and I say, okay, this person, if I look at the school he went to, he said he graduated so year, and by the time I calculated it to the year that I am at this moment, I calculated that, oh, he finished school by in 20 years ago. So how come his CV is this short? That's the question, and that may just disqualify him. All right. So, it mustn't be too much so that it doesn't overwhelm the recruiter. Okay. And it must not be too short so that you don't undersell yourself. You must be able to say things that will sell you very, very well, especially if you have a lot of experience. Okay. Other errors, other mistakes, poor formatting, unclear structure. You just disorganize everything on that CV. Come on. How do you expect them to call you for interview? Inconsistent font. You're just using all manner of fonts. You use Area, you use Calibri, you use Times Roman, you use Pumping, you use all manner of font style on just one CV. No, be consistent with your font style. You can make all the headings to be a particular font style, while the body of each heading can be a particular font style and font size. Okay, be consistent. Okay, don't just do things anyhow. Don't just use any font you feel like, and you used about 5 different fonts in a particular CV. Okay, I mean that's not a good one. Okay, your layout should not be cluttered because it will reduce readability. If you send your CV to a recruiter and the recruiter cannot read it successfully, what is the essence of that CV? It's a waste. Okay, lack of clear achievements. When you send your CV to any recruiter, they want to look at what you have achieved. Oh, I have 10 years of experience as a chef. Okay, so what have you achieved as a chef? Oh, I worked with Charlton Hotel. I was able to prepare delicious meals that increased our sales by 60% because customers kept coming for the meals because it was so sweet. Okay. That is an achievement. Okay, I was able to take my team from just being 3 to about 10. That means you're a good leader. You must state your achievement. Okay, don't just state your duties. Oh, I wash plates. Oh, I greet people when they come in. I blah 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 blah. I cook. No, it's not just about cooking. It's about the impact of your cooking or anything at all that you do. The impact is what really, really matters. So your achievement must be well stated. Okay. When you state your achievement, you're trying to uh, tell the recruiter that you're a responsible person, you're an achiever, you're somebody who is not just there to just collect salary. Okay. If you just put your duties, it makes your CV very bland, not having the flavor it should have. Okay. Now, on professional email address, okay, some people say, oh, are they for faji? Are they for enjoyment? Are they for love? Are they for blah 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 at gmail.com? And that's what you put on your CV? Come on, come on, come on. Don't do that. That's an unprofessional email address. Like I mentioned to you, my email address that I put on my CV is just my name, oluwasholaibusi@gmail.com, period. Easy peasy. In fact, I was so happy when I wanted to, register my Gmail, and I found out that, I mean, it was still available. I was even thinking that maybe another person who bears my name, because I can't say, oh, I'm the only one bearing the name all over the world. You know, I mean, no, but of course, there are people who bear Oluwashola Ibusi, but then none of them thought it wise to use that full name as their email address. So, I mean, I had to go for it. And so it's very easy for any recruiter to look at my CV and say, oh, in fact, his name is actually his email address. Very easy, as in very, very easy. Okay. So make sure you have a professional email address. Don't use all those funny email addresses. Okay. If you have that, you may use it for some other things. All right. But you have to create one, a professional one that you always put on your CV. That will be simple. Okay. Most times just use your full name based email, your full name at gmail.com, at yahoo.com, period. All right. Irrelevant information. Don't say, oh, my hobbies, your photo, personal details. You don't have to do all of that. Okay. I'm married. I'm an Hausa person. I'm from Italy. I'm an Igbo person. No, 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 no. You don't need all of that. Okay. Don't bring tribalistic tendencies. Just because you feel that the owner of the company is uh is probably from your tribe. You not decided to put your tribe on your CV. No, don't do that. Okay, that means you're trying to show some level of psychophancy. Even before you enter the company, you're already showing psychophancy. So it means that if you have a opportunity to get into the company, oh, your psychophancy will be on a high level. No, don't try to get unnecessary favor by putting those unnecessary information. Okay. Vague language, don't use it. Like, I'm hardworking, I'm a go-getter. You have to give us proof. Anybody can say I'm hardworking. Anybody can say I'm a go-getter. You know, those words, they don't mean anything really. They sound, sound good, but they don't mean anything. Hardworking, so what? What did you achieve with your hardworking, whatever? What did you achieve with your go-getter stuff? It's about the achievements. Yeah. Don't use I'm hardworking. No, no, no. Those words, they don't count. Okay. In the 21st century, before you could use it in 1940 or thereabout, and it will work. But then right now, those words don't work again. Not using action verbs. Okay, weak verbs. I helped with. No, 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 no. Don't say I helped with. Say I led. I implemented. Those are correct words that you should use, because every company wants you to show that you're a leader. Okay, they want you to show that you're a leader. You have initiative. Okay, they're trying to, they will be happy to know that this person has his own brain and he can use his brain. All right. Now, in case this session collapses, we're going to join again using this same link. Just click the same link, on the WhatsApp group, and then we'll come back and have the second session. Okay. So, okay, let's go to this before we wrap up this particular session and jump to the next session, so that we can do another, we can go through some of those mistakes, again. Now, missing keywords, that's another thing you must look out for, okay? If you are going to engineering industry, you must use the keywords of engineering in your CV. You can't be using carpentry, terms. The terms that has to do with your industry